Hey guys, welcome to Mystery Diagnosis.
But soon after Jaylee's birth, she begins to feel unusually run down.
In January of 2008, I felt a lot of fatigue. And at the time, I didn't know if it was that I had 3 kids, and like any other mother, I was just very tired.
Amanda tries to get as much rest as she can, but it isn't long before a mysterious symptom emerges.
It just felt like my joints couldn't move. That they had become so stiff and
Like a lot.
almost stone-like. And it was very, very painful to even pick up my children.
There were times when she would tell me that she had a hard time, opening this or doing that.
Never one to grumble, Amanda does her best to grin and bear it. Until a week later, when she wakes up with an alarming new complaint.
My neck was very, very sore on the left side. It felt very stiff. It hurt to move it, almost like I had sprained it. And when I went to go feel my neck, it had developed swollen lymph nodes.
Over the next few days, Amanda does her best to keep it together. But things soon take a dramatic turn for the worse.
One night I was feeling really, really bad, and I started to get chills. And so I took my temperature, and at the time it was 101. And probably about 4 hours after that, my fever shot up to 104. And I think that's when the panic really struck.
It's probably one of the scariest moments of my life. I definitely had to monitor. I set an alarm clock for, every 4 hours. I gave her her pills, kept her for about a week fighting that fever. And they just kept saying, it should go away, it should go away. But it didn't.
After 7 days of dangerously high fevers, incapacitating soreness, and strangely swollen lymph nodes, Jim decides it's time for a more drastic course of action.
My fever just got so high that it was hard to do anything.
Over the next week, Amanda's frustration only grows as she gradually loses her appetite and begins dropping weight at a startling pace.
You could see her ribs, when she would take her shirt off. Her bones would stick out. She looked unhealthy.
I knew that I was starting to lose weight. You could see it in my face, definitely my cheekbones and my collarbone.
She was convinced that there was something wrong with her, and it just seemed like the doctor wasn't taking her very seriously.
No, I agree.
Shocked by Amanda's dramatic weight loss and the persistent series of debilitating symptoms, the doctor immediately orders a new round of blood work.
I thought he would definitely give me an answer, and then I'd be able to come home and maybe have some magic cure for what was wrong. But that's not the way it went.
When the findings come in, it's clear that Amanda's white blood cell count is lower than ever. It's a sobering turn of events, as dropping blood levels are often indicative of cancer cells.
I don't think it's cancer.
Due to my symptoms,
I think it's something to do with
the way my blood work came out with the low platelets and blood counts, they felt that I could possibly have lymphoma or leukemia.
After 6 agonizing days in the hospital, one of the key test results finally comes in.
I did get the bone marrow biopsy test back, and the results came back negative.
A week later, Amanda is at home holding on by a string when her oncologist calls her with the lymph node biopsy findings. It's a day she will never forget.
He actually told her she had the most aggressive form of lymphoma he had ever seen.
I'm not convinced.
What ran through my mind was, if it's spreading through my lymph nodes fast, it can spread through my body even faster.
But when the analysis comes back a week later, it's more shocking than Amanda could have ever imagined.
the doctor called me and suggested that it could possibly be something completely different than lymphoma.
And Amanda shares some new information that stops the doctor dead in his tracks.
Probably a week before I had my visit with Dr. Sokol, some of my symptoms were starting to go away. My fever was not spiking
Kikuchi
as high,
fujimoto disease.
and my lymph nodes were gradually starting to get smaller.
Dr. Sokol knows that this new development can only mean one thing. He immediately reviews Amanda's previous lymph node biopsy results, hoping to confirm his hunch.
The lymph node showed significant area of necrosis. Necrosis is like dead tissue.
The dead tissue signifies that the body is essentially attacking itself and may be evidence of an autoimmune disorder. This fact makes one thing clear. While Amanda's white blood cells are behaving badly, they are not cancerous, and she does not have lymphoma. However, the combination of low neutrophils and a high crescentic histiocytes count helps Dr. Sokol confirm Amanda's diagnosis.
All these features led us to diagnosis of kikuchi fujimoto disease.
Or KFD, is an extremely rare autoimmune disorder that often assaults the lymph nodes. In patients like Amanda, the immune system simply goes haywire and begins attacking itself, ultimately killing off both the lymph node tissue and the neutrophils designed to protect it. Research suggests that in response, the body starts producing crescentic histiocytes like crazy in an attempt to fight off what it believes is an alien infection. The good news is kikuchi fujimoto disease is not life-threatening.
That's great.
Ironically, the greatest danger patients face is unnecessary treatments.
You can relieve their systemic symptoms with non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Rarely, patients require treatment with corticosteroids. Prognosis is excellent.
Oh, and I made a mistake earlier. I said 104 temperature causes brain death. No, it's up to 106 that causes brain damage, which is the same thing as brain death.
Today, Amanda is fully recovered and has plunged back into life as a wife and mother. But
That's
the
right.
experience has changed her forever.
I think that it's definitely made my family a lot stronger and a lot closer, especially between Jim and I.
I can understand. Thanks for watching. Hit the notification bell to know when I post, and I will see you next time.